I'm Joe Reel, and this is The Creative Mind. Welcome back to another episode of The Creative Mind. In this episode, I interview Daniel Miller and Spencer Gill of the band Tides of Man. Tides of Man released their third full-length album titled Young and Courageous in February of 2014. Young and Courageous marked a turning point for the band as it was their first independent release and it was also their first instrumental album. For this episode of The Creative Mind, I will be giving away a signed, limited edition vinyl of Young and Courageous in Oxblood Red. Along with the album, I've included a Tides of Man t-shirt in size small and some Tides of Man guitar picks. For a chance to win all of this, go to facebook.com/thecreativemindpod. There you will find a corresponding post for the giveaway where you can share, like, comment with the hashtag TCMPod, and tag any of your Facebook friends for chances to win. A winner will be announced on August 22nd. Along with Facebook, you can also follow the show on Twitter at TCMPod and on YouTube. Remember to go to iTunes and hit subscribe and give the show a rating and review. Reviews help the Creative Mind show up in the iTunes charts, where more listeners will come across it. Now, let's get into the interview. So for our listeners who don't know who you guys are, can you guys introduce yourselves?
My name's Spencer, and I'm playing Tides of Man, and
I'm Dan, and I play guitar in Tides of Man.
And what are y'all's roles? You said you play guitar, and Spencer, what do you do?
I play guitar.
You play guitar too, okay.
There's a lot of guitar playing.
Yeah, a lot of guitars. Do both of you guys pretty much are involved with songwriting process too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys are currently working on your second, I guess, relaunched album, right? As a band, you guys are kind of reset back in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. This is we've been working out of this space mostly, actually. From home on new ideas for our album.
Instrumental LP 2.
Yeah, whatever it's going to be called, we don't know yet.
Yeah. So total, the whole Tides of Man, I guess you could say, collection. What would that be? This is the fifth album. Counting the EP.
We had an EP, and then we had two full lengths, and then Young and Courageous came out, so that was the third full length. So this would be the fourth
full length, but counting the EP, it'd be 5.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I want to get kind of in the beginning of how you guys got started as a band and how this developed. You guys are from Florida?
Yeah.
And did you guys all go to high school together, or was this how did the friendships evolve, and how did you guys get into what's become Tides of Man?
Well, I mean, the beginning was I'm not from Florida. I lived in North Carolina, and
what part of North Carolina are you from?
Like right around Charlotte, like this little town called Gastonia.
Yeah. Okay.
So I ended up moving down here because I had some friends down here, and then I met Josh and Alan, and we kind of started a band together that wasn't Tides of Man, and then they knew, Adam at the time and Tilian, and then we all just joined together and set up the show, and then we decided. Then that was the beginning of Tides of Man. Then Adam left, and then we were trying out guitar players. This was 2009,
2010, right? It was like right when Dreamhouse came out. I joined like the tour after Dreamhouse came out.
Okay. Yeah, so he tried out for guitar, and we loved him, and then he came on tour with us.
And Dreamhouse was the first full length, correct?
Second.
Okay, Empires was right before?
That's right.
Okay. And that was in 2010 when you joined up. And actually, I think that was when I've seen you guys once. I think it was 2010. You guys did a tour with Johnny Craig and Alaska. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was right. That was probably like a tour or two before I joined.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that was right before Dreamhouse was released, that tour?
Oh, man.
I know that was so long ago.
It was before I was in.
Okay. It was right around that time period.
Yeah. Okay. And you guys, back then, you guys were more of, I guess, would you say post-hardcore, kind of that whole, I don't know, what would you call that scene, that music?
I would call it progressive poppy post-hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
It was something like that. Like we we thought we were really, a little bit different because we had like elements of the Mars Volta in there and like some weird like ambient stuff in there as well. So we were like, in our minds at least, we were like not part of the scene, but we were definitely 100% part of that scene.
Gotcha. Yeah. How did you guys get noticed? I mean, what was it? You guys were doing like local shows, and did you guys sign with Rise? Was that who you guys were signed with back then?
Yeah, we got noticed on MySpace. Actually.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Not even kidding.
Nice.
We used to have this thing. This is a funny inside story, actually. We used to have this thing called Spider, which was like, I don't know if you remember when MySpace, like all you wanted to do was have 1 million friends, right?
Yeah.
And then Hollywood Dead, like, just sat around and had, like, dudes just adding people on their MySpace page, and that's how they got big.
Wow.
So we got a program called Spider, and we got a bunch of friends, I guess you'd call them, on MySpace.
Yeah.
And we had, like, 90,000 friends or something on our MySpace page. Which was, like, totally ridiculous.
It was just from this program sending out requests to people?
Yeah. Okay. And it would send out like 400 a day or whatever it was, like the maximum limit was.
Yeah.
And anyways, so it looked like we were like this happening band, but we were just like this random little local band. But yeah, the owner of Rise Records found us on the internet one night and somehow contacted us and was like, "I want to sign you guys." Wow. And that was our first and only record deal offer.
Yeah. And did you guys know anything about Rise before that?
No.
Wow.
No clue.
Okay. So you guys were you guys listening to those bands that were on that label at all? Any of them, or you guys just had no idea?
No. This was obviously before I was in the band, but they got signed like right at the same time as a band called Oceana.
Okay.
From the same.
Yeah, who's Paul Enzo now, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They're from like they live like half an hour away from us.
Oh, okay.
So I was following what they were doing. So I saw when these guys got signed, and that was actually probably the first time I had heard of them. But even though they were local, it was just funny.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So you guys had no idea anything about Rise. What made you take that jump? Did you guys start looking at their profile and the bands? And you're like, oh, I guess these guys are pretty legit.
Yeah, we were so like the classic, what you would think of a band that is nowhere, and then all of a sudden they get a call like, I'm going to sign you. We were that. That's how we were. We were just like over the moon about it, like freaking out, like jumping up and down in our practice space, like every stereotypical thing you can think of. We were stoked. So we didn't look into any details. We were like, send us a contract,
Yeah.
We were like, in our mind back then, it was like, you want to get signed, and that's the key to success.
Yeah. Wow, crazy. So was Tilian, was he like in y'all's friend group at that time?
Yeah, he was in the band. He
was in the band. How was it? Do you think it was? I mean, because you guys, your music, I mean, it's always been just crazy technical. I even think for Rise, you guys were kind of, like you said, you had that Mars Volta kind of more. I don't know, technical in the guitar rhythms and solos and stuff like that. With the combination of Tilian's voice, did you guys like realize how impactful you guys were going to be to Rise when you guys got signed? They had Dance Gavin Dance, I think, at the time, and Emma Rosa. But other than that, the bands on there were good, not to downplay anybody, but you guys were pretty, I think, impacting on who Rise was. Did you guys see that at all? Like, was it just kind of all a blur of like, oh, I guess we're signed, or was it?
It was a blur, and we were really like excited, and I don't think we were thinking about how much impact we were having on Rise.
Yeah,
we were just thinking about how much impact they were going to have on us and our next 2 years that we were with them, or whatever it was.
Yeah. All right, so so you guys did the tour, or you did the Dreamhouse tour and all that. And when was the time that you guys left Rise? How did that all come to be?
We left Rise.
Well,
much later than.
It was probably a year after Tilian was out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys at Rise about like, I remember talking to him on the phone down the hall here.
Yeah.
About our searching for a singer, and they were asking how it was going, and that was at least 6 months after December 2010.
Yeah. Did you guys have any promising people that were close to becoming the vocalist that kind of backed out that you guys can talk about, or?
We definitely had some interesting people, and I don't think that people would believe what we had to say about it, but yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to cause any trouble, but like there was like one or two people that are pretty big now.
Yeah.
Talking to us.
Were they
at the time? They weren't as big. That's for sure.
They blew up after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And what kind of went down? I know, like, at the time when you guys lost Tilian, there was a lot of rumors and stuff going around of how that happened. What was from y'all, if you guys want to talk about that, what was from y'all's view, like, what went down? Was that people said he got kicked out, people said that he just left?
It was interesting. It was like, first of all the people that talk about it have to realize that 95% of the time they haven't been in that situation.
Yeah. Like
where you've been on the road for months and you're in close quarters with a band. So we had all this leading up. We were already like all kind of on edge with each other.
Just from touring?
Just from touring.
Yeah.
Like, it had nothing to do with it, whether or not we liked each other or not. It's just like, you get in a band with people for months, you're going to figure out whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
And, Tilian's an amazing artist, and he would get offers,
yeah.
And he was talking to the Seosin guys at the time, and he wanted to do it. And then, we were scared. Some of the guys in the band were scared about if he did Seosin, would he just kind of leave us in the dust, because obviously that'd be more successful.
Yeah.
And we were kind of in arguments over that for a while being on tour, and it just kind of all culminated in this one night where it just happened, where it was like, fine, I'm going to go do Seosin.
Wow.
I think and we were like, I wouldn't say he was kicked out or he left. Like, it was kind of like,
it was kind of both sides.
A big fight with your girlfriend,
yeah,
and then you both say forget about it at the same time,
yeah,
and that's how it happened. And we took a couple days off a tour to try and talk it out, and it just wouldn't talk out.
Oh, so he dropped off tour in the middle of tour.
The whole band did.
Wow.
We drove home.
How far into the tour were you guys at this time?
It was 2 tours back to back, so we were out for like a month and a half already. It was like, we were halfway through the second tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we had toured. This was in December. We had toured all through August. Then we had like a 2 weeks off or something, and then we did a whole tour, and then. No, it wasn't 2 weeks. It was like a month off. Then we did a whole tour before this one, and then we were on. And that tour was with Greeley Estates, and then this tour was with.
No, the Greeley tour is where Tilian left. It was the one before that was the Sleeping in PM Today.
Oh yeah, we did the Sleeping in PM Today and Happy Buddy Slow Brain, and that was a sweet tour. And then this, but it was a small tour, so we were like rough on money. And we were kind of stressing out.
Were you guys the headlining band on that tour? Or?
No, the Sleeping was.
Sleeping.
Okay.
Which they're a great band, but they hadn't been really around for a while. So this was like that was their last tour too. Their last tour, and we had been out on the road, and we weren't really actually feeling very successful because we were on smaller tours and. Throughout that fall, and we were just kind of like losing it, felt like we were kind of losing ground as a band. And then this happened in December, halfway through the Greeley Estates tour.
Wow. So, At the time that he left, you guys said you took a break. Was it? I mean, what did he just drive home or fly home or something, or like was he still with you guys when he was like, "I'm done," and you guys were like, "Well, do we go home?" Like, how did all that fall out?
Well, I mean, we basically talked about it.
We stayed at a friend's house in Colorado for a couple of days.
The whole thing blew up like 30 or 40 minutes before our set time.
Oh no! Did you guys even get to play that night or no?
Yeah, that was the last show we played with Tilian.
Wow.
Which is funny because we played like probably one of the best shows we've ever played technically.
Just because of all the emotion behind everybody.
Yeah, we were just like, I remember being on stage and being like, this is it. Like, maybe this is the last time I'll be on stage.
Yeah.
And you know, Tilian sang perfectly. Like, everybody played perfect. Josh was just killing it on drums. That was at the Black Sheep in Colorado Springs. And but anyways, after that, we dropped off we said we were gonna like take a couple days. We went to our friend's house who lives near there and stayed there, and we were trying to like talk it out. And then we just decided to kind of part ways. And Tilian flew home, and then we just drove. We dropped off the tour and drove back from Colorado to Florida.
Oh wow! Was this like? I mean, do you guys still stay in touch with him? Is it something? Are you guys still friends? Or
yeah. I just went and saw his last his solo tour that he just came through on.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to catch him whenever Dance Gavin Dance plays live and hang out. And he's in town. His sister lives here, so. We hang out every once in a while.
Okay, so his family's from the area.
I mean, at first it was like, you know,
yeah,
kind of bad blood, but then, you know, it's like we did our thing, he did his thing. Mm-hmm. We had so many good times with the guy, and we all kind of grew up a little bit and realized like, music is music. You're gonna go do it. So. Like, we're still friends, you know?
Yeah.
He came and watched our South by So What set.
Okay, nice.
I spoke to him before then. I used to see him a lot more, but he's actually moved. So when he's in town, we definitely make a point to see each other.
Yeah, does he live out west now with the Dance Gavin Dance guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's living in L.A. I think they live in North California.
Yeah. He lives in L.A. somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I think, they're like Sacramento area? Is that where they're at?
Yeah.
Okay. And so after that, I mean, you said you were talking with Rise, and it was like 6 months no vocalist, and you guys, I'm guessing, didn't get back on the tour. You guys just dropped off completely from that tour?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were done.
So what was y'all's initial contract with Rise? Was it one album, or what was that?
3.
It was
three albums.
3 albums.
It was 2 and an option or something like that, right? They just decided not to take the option. I don't know.
No, it was 3. It was 3, and then we had an option at the end of 3.
Okay, so 3 counting the one they bought, which was Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, so I mean, what were they telling you at this time? Were they, you know, if you guys don't find a vocalist, that's it, you guys are done?
I don't know. It was kind of like I was on the phone with them talking about getting vocalists, and they were just checking up on it. And then, you know, it's like months go by, and they're kind of like, I mean, if I were on their end of this of the deal, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
We just got an email one day. It was like, we're going to part ways, or I don't remember what it said. I don't want to imply that it said anything that it didn't when I don't remember what it said. But essentially, we got dropped.
Yeah.
And
were you expecting it, or were you shocked when you got the email?
I was half expecting it, but also when you get an email like that, it's kind of like, no matter if you were expecting it or not, you're like, ugh.
So when did that initially happen? Was that around 6 months out of when Tilian left, or?
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm a little foggy on that. It may have been close to a year.
That's like going on 5 years ago, though. Now.
Okay.
So it was a while back.
So from the time after that, what were you guys as a band thinking? Were you guys like, should we continue as like our own thing, or I mean, Because you said there was a gap before you guys put anything out from Young and Courageous.
Yeah. And I mean, we were writing and constantly. We're still fully a band. You know what I mean? Obviously, we weren't putting anything out, and we were working on getting a singer, but we were writing new songs and being as productive as we could in the time, and just hunting for a singer basically the whole time, and just emailing people and sending demos to people, and so.
Yeah, I think that we tried to just stay productive, just so we wouldn't get too down in the dumps, and we definitely wanted to continue writing, and I don't think we had like a surefire plan of like where we were going to head towards, but we all knew that we played pretty well together as a band, and we wanted to continue that. So that's like it was kind of like we were just like holding on to something. Yeah. That we could do. That's what we were doing, and that ended up being all of that music ended up turning into Young and Courageous. So,
wow. So
that's kind of why. That's kind of, I mean, a little bit why the record's called what it's called.
Yeah.
So
to jump forward at least 4 years, you guys are now instrumental.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that transition like going through that with the band?
It took a long time.
At least with your followers, what was it? Because I thought, I mean, I saw you guys, like I said, back in, I guess, 2009, 2010. Yeah. And when Young and Courageous came out, I mean, it blew me away. Because I don't think anybody was really expecting that.
Yeah.
Tilian when did Tilian leave? In 2010?
2010.
Yeah, the end of 2010.
Yeah, and I guess everyone kind of expected that you guys would get another vocalist and just kind of continue what you were doing.
And we tried. We talked to a lot of guys, and we had some stuff lined up that we thought was going to work out, and then it just ended up not working out for one reason or another. And we were just like, dude, we gotta put some music out. We gotta do something. So it kind of just came out of necessity almost. And, and just the demos we were making, we were moving in a more like atmospheric direction, and we just felt like we could expand on some of the ideas and just make them stand on their own without a vocalist. So it just kind of happened naturally in a way.
Yeah, did you guys feel like you guys were possibly going to lose fans in doing that, or was it
100%?
Yeah,
I'm sure we'd have, and I'm sure like we knew.
We knew it was like a leap of faith when we went into that, and it was just kind of like, well, we could like the other option was quit, you know, or not release music until we found a vocalist. But when you're in, I mean, you got to put yourself in our shoes. Like Tilian and us part ways. It's hard to fill that guy's shoes, man.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal vocalist. He really is, and he's got a very distinct style. So you're either going to completely change or try and find someone who can really cover that range, which is hard. So
they tend to already be in bands if they could do it.
And those guys are usually already in bands.
Yeah, all the people you guys were like, oh, we could get him, but they were, oh, never mind. He's already in something.
Yeah, exactly. So we just chose the instrumental route, and it was definitely a leap of faith on our part. And anyone who followed us into that, I was like, we got a pretty overwhelming response though.
I think the biggest surprise was how many people actually stayed on board for it.
Yeah, we were very surprised with that.
Really? Did you guys get a lot of like hate mail because of it? Were people saying, "Oh, I'm never going to listen to you guys again," or "You guys ruined Tides of Man"? Or
there's a few haters, but like whatever. It would have happened with any album you put out. You know, always people.
Yeah, I don't think we get like we've ever gotten like, you know, you guys suck now. Well, yeah, we've gotten that
a little bit. I've seen some YouTube comments.
Yeah, we've gotten that. I mean, we get like, please bring Tilian back. Like, that's probably the biggest comment that we get. That's not like a good comment. You know?
Yeah. Do you guys catch yourselves looking like at comments a lot and worrying about that stuff, or do you guys not really care at all?
I do it just to feel out like where, you know, what people are saying, whether they like something or not. I don't take it like I like the music regardless. It's not going to affect how I feel about it. But But I like to see people's responses just so I know, like, where we stand with people, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at the beginning when we released the album, we were definitely like, we read every single comment and every single post because it was a whole new territory for us. We were like, what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So we were super interested. Now it's not so much. But when we release the next record, we're going to do that again too. So
yeah. And that, now speaking of the next record, I want to get into that later, but back in, I guess, the beginning of 2015, you guys mentioned that you guys were starting on another record. Is that currently still in the works?
Yeah.
Or is it finished?
That's what we're working on as much as we can.
Okay.
Every free day that we got, we're in this room writing. So.
Okay. And you guys are still doing the same process you did for Young and Courageous, where you're recording yourself?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of demos.
Okay.
Young and Courageous, we had much less technology to our fingertips. Now we got like a whole like nice Pro Tools setup and all that stuff. And we had that before, but it was like Pro Tools 6 or something like that. Like real super old school, kind of ghetto.
Yeah. Are you guys thinking about doing another Indiegogo campaign for this album, or do you guys?
No, we want to avoid that. That's been the one thing with Young Courageous, that it's been a success for us, and that we think we could probably pull it off without having to ask fans for money, which is we really want to avoid that this time around.
What is y'all's views on that? Are you guys like into it, or
it's amazing if people are willing to support it? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's awesome, but at the same time, we don't want to seem like
you're taking advantage of it or something.
Yeah, and begging all the time. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to do it every album, but it was amazing that we were able to or that the fans were willing to support that. A record that they had no idea what it was going to sound like.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when we set out to do the first one, it was absolutely necessary, and we knew it, and we were super grateful. But we were all like this is supposed to make the band like solvent. Like, we should be able to this should be the starting point where we actually are responsible with our money, and we save it up, and we take a percentage of each album sale and we put it towards the next record.
Yeah.
Do some financial planning.
That's good.
You know? Like that responsible adult stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been nice too, because we're not signed, so all that money that we do make off of anything that we're selling, it's keeping the band afloat.
Yeah.
Do you guys like being unsigned, or are you guys still open to getting signed with another label?
I mean,
I kind of like it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we probably have mixed, like...
Yeah.
Well...
If there were a better offer than what we have going on right now, we'd definitely be open to it.
It depends. There's pros and cons to both. If we had a record label, then we'd be more obligated to tour constantly and all that, and which is very hard to do. And keep the band profitable. So that's one thing. Being unsigned is kind of, we can do things at our own pace, and there's not the outside pressure to meet deadlines or anything, which I feel it allows us to make better decisions, more sound decisions as far as like what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, you did so well on the campaign with Young and Courageous. You guys were even able to do a European tour, right? That was something you guys did right after.
Those were sort of unrelated.
The
European tour was just really sick. We had a booking agent hit us up, ask us if we thought about going over there, and we're like, no, not really. And he's like, I could book you guys, and he did, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, that was another point in my life. I was like, oh my god. Like, we're going to Europe.
Yeah.
I'd never been overseas. I mean, I know a lot of bands have, but when we were on Rise, we never went out of the country.
Oh, wow.
Hadn't gotten that far yet, so.
Have you guys pretty much, when you were with Rise, did you guys do pretty much all the East and West Coast? And
yeah, I think we did 10 full U.S. tours or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
In 2 years, right?
Yeah, in like 2 years. We were I think we did like 100,000 miles on our band in 1 year.
Wow. Dang, that's crazy.
It was pretty rough, you know?
Yeah.
I've never had so much McDonald's in my life.
Yeah, so you guys were pretty much just catapulted into that right after getting signed to Rise, just that whole lifestyle?
Yeah, and I think before Rise we had played like a total of maybe 10 or 12 local shows ever.
That's crazy.
So we were just like new kids on the block.
Yeah, a whole new world.
Yeah, totally, man.
That's crazy. So going into that, I'm going to jump back again to back in the Rise days, and you're going on this tour. Were you guys out of high school at that time, or were you guys still in high school?
We were, 2009. I was 20.
I graduated in 06, so I was like 20.
Okay, so you guys were well out of graduate. Okay.
Yeah, because everyone's older.
Yeah, I was 20.
Okay. So, I mean, were you guys working jobs at that time and just kind of like, we got to drop everything and go do this tour? This is our life now? Or like, how was that transition from living in Florida to I'm now a U.S. touring musician?
It was kind of sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had already borrowed money to record Empire Theory ourselves. And we actually paid for the entirety of Empire Theory to be mixed and recorded.
Wow.
And Rise bought that album from us.
Okay.
So we were like thinking with like, we want to be a professional band. And we were ready to drop it all for that. And then when the opportunity came around, it was fast.
Yeah.
And they signed us in March. I think they signed us in March. And then I think by that summer we were on the road full time. And then that August is when Empire Theory was released on Rise Records.
Wow. Okay. And what was your first tour? Do you guys remember who you were with on that?
Static Lullaby.
Oh wow. Okay. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
No. Okay. A Static Lullaby. Asking Alexandria.
Okay.
Vanna. And Sleeping with Sirens was their first tour as well.
Wow, okay.
Sleeping with Sirens was on that tour, I believe.
Okay. And what did you guys mesh? Have you guys pretty much always meshed well with other bands that you guys have been on tour with, or do you guys pretty much keep to yourselves? What is that like?
I mean, for like 98% of the time, we've been really good buds with whoever we've gone on tour with.
Okay.
There's been like one or two very small instances of bad things, but other than those things, it's like we get along great. Is
there anything you want to talk about and not name anybody, or keep it under wraps?
No.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. All right.
It's more embarrassing for my band.
Okay. Oh, so you guys were the culprits. Yeah. Okay.
But we had a voting system on tour. Actually, if you're interested, like we had if the rules were pretty arbitrary. It's basically
if you piss off the rest.
If you piss off the rest of the guys, they can call a vote in the morning, and if you get voted, you have to unload all the gear from the trailer yourself, set it all up, and load it back in all yourself. Wow. No help.
Basically keeping everyone in line, but not getting too crazy.
So, I mean, I got voted, Dan got voted, and Tilian got voted. No one else got voted.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so you guys would always follow through with that, or was it like...
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, from someone unloading your trailer for you, you're definitely going to take advantage of that.
Wow. Yeah. Man, so what? All right. So this new album you guys are working on, what is in the works for that? What is it something we can expect to be like Young and Courageous, or is it something you said you guys are using a professional recording setup? Are you guys bringing in new instruments or taking anything out? Or
we're definitely. We're definitely it's definitely in the style of Young and Courageous, but obviously we want to progress too.
Yeah.
So we've been using cool synthesizers and stuff like that.
Definitely playing with more synth and electronic elements.
Okay.
Not going too crazy with it, but
for textures, not you're not going to hear glitch pop or anything, and then
yeah,
he ties
no
me a record.
synth leads or anything like that.
Yeah, no
okay.
dance synth or anything like that. When I say synth, I'm talking to like vintage sounding, old school pads or like Moog or whatever. Yeah. And we're messing around with that stuff. And
we definitely bought a bunch of new effects too.
Yeah, we bought it. Like both Dan and I got some Walrus fuzz pedals that we're in love with. So
nice.
We didn't have we never had fuzz pedals, but you can do some really cool shit with fuzz pedals.
Yeah,
I think we're just gonna expand a little bit, incorporate more sounds. We definitely want to include more instrumentation too. We haven't done too much other than like keys so far, but I mean we'll see what happens, but we definitely want to bring in more strings and like trumpet or something like that too.
Yeah.
But we're really just trying to make the songs pretty varied and very textured and probably try and make more moody parts, and maybe a little less straightforward, like rock that's instrumental, you know what I mean? But we'll see. It just kind of ends up being what it ends up being, you know?
Yeah, if you would have asked us this question like a year ago, we would probably told you something completely different.
Oh, yeah. It's just the sounds evolved since you guys have been going.
Yeah, pretty much. That's just what's been coming out.
Yeah.
So.
Are you now? Is the lineup still the same that Young and Courageous was, or has it changed a little bit?
Yeah.
It still is the same?
Yep.
Okay. I saw in the Audio Tree Live, did you guys have an extra person playing with you on there?
Yeah, two extra people playing.
Yeah.
We usually bring out at least one other guitar player because we layered a lot of guitar parts on Young and Courageous.
Yeah.
We can get by with two guitar players, but it sounds a lot better with three.
Okay.
And then we usually have a keyboardist playing key parts as well.
Okay.
Usually who we have doing it is our buddy Spencer Bradham, who produced Young and Courageous at Clear Track Studios here in Florida.
Okay, nice.
But he can't, like, he's constantly there producing stuff, so he can't really go out on the road very often.
Yeah.
So if we can get someone to fill in, then we do. Otherwise, it ends up going on tracks.
Yeah. Are you guys pretty much open to using backing tracks? Or are you guys purist when it comes to playing?
We try and keep it. If we always have tracks going, but it's usually just like ambient synth pad stuff or something just to add atmosphere. It's not really like important parts of songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, we try not to put any guitar stuff on backing tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like, if Spencer or no one else can fill in keys, then we'll put the keys on the backing tracks if that happens. But we try to get it live.
Yeah, it just depends. So, there's only so many people willing to go out on the road. When we have time to do it. So it's kind of just whatever we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, now, when you guys are talking about adding synthesizers, as in, like, pads and strings and stuff like that, do you guys like to use actually hardware synths, or are you guys open to using software synths?
Totally open to software. I mean, that's all we have available.
Okay, yeah.
If I had a room full of, hardware synths, I would definitely, like, plug those in and just go nuts, but...
I've been looking at a few, though. That new Core...
Mini-Log?
Yeah, the Mini-Log looks really cool.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any endorsements from anybody since you guys are unsigned or with a gear and stuff?
We have a string endorsement and from Diodario and a cable endorsement from cable and like accessories endorsement from Planet Waves.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And Orange Amps.
Definitely.
They've been really super cool.
They cover you guys when you play live?
Yeah, like when we went to Europe, they hooked us up with a backline for going over there.
Oh, nice.
We both got some new amps, some Orange OR15s, which are really cool. Just low watt single channel amps. They sound awesome. That's what we've been playing.
Oh yeah, and then Josh just got an endorsement from Dream Cymbals, which is I don't know too much about them, but he says they're awesome and they make like handmade cymbals.
Okay.
They're actually.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them.
When we went over to Europe, he broke one of his Zildjians, I think, and we stopped in like some guitar shop or something in Belgium, and he was just like looking at cymbals, and we didn't have like a ton of money to spend, and he ended up seeing a Dream cymbal, and he hadn't heard of it, but it sounded awesome.
Wow.
And it was like his favorite ride, and so he hit them up to see if they're open to an endorsement. He just signed on with them for a year,
awesome.
Which is cool.
Yeah. So they're located in Europe then? They're not a U.S.?
I think they're like Turkish or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. So what is like y'all's writing process when you guys start on a song? Is it something, does one of you guys come up with like a riff and then just kind of everyone starts building off that, or is it like a solo project where each one of you is writing a song and then you bring your song to the table and you guys kind of pick it up?
It's a mix, I believe. Like, we've kind of gone through different writing processes over the years. I think what we've honed in on that works the best is like one or two people working together on the main structure of the song and then bringing it to the table to expand and change.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody has the ability to change the song however they want until we all agree on it. But the initial like beginning structure starts with like either Dan and I in a room, or me and Josh if it's like a real drum-based song, or you know what I mean, or us alone like coming up with something and then bringing it to the table.
Like, I got just a simple little interface, and like I'll just track a guitar song idea, and I'll lay out a basic structure or something, and then I'll bring it to Spencer, and we'll like build on the guitars and like kind of finalize structure. And then like right now our drummer Josh is he's living like back and forth between London and here.
Oh, okay.
His girlfriend lives in London, so he just bought an electronic drum kit. So he's been sending us, like, we'll send him guitar demos, and then he'll record to those, and he'll send it back to us, and we kind of like work out, that sounds rad, or I think we should do this, kind of thing like that.
Yeah, I love like the ability that we have right now in this age of just you can record with anybody, over the internet, and it's amazing.
I know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going kind of crazy with the distance on him living over there, but we obviously like want to support him too. So it was like finally the solution came along. Oh, let's just do the electronic drum kit thing, get Superior Drummer or something.
Yeah.
And just, that can be our demo drums, and that way we can just keep writing. And it's really going to speed up the process of writing the record a lot more.
Yeah. Does he pretty much always write his own drum parts, or do you guys, working on stuff?
Yeah, we're pretty big on, everyone has control over their their instrument.
Yeah.
Obviously, like it's collaborative, and if we're like not digging something, then everyone's open to criticism, but we want like each of the ideas. Like we don't write drum parts for him or anything like that.
Yeah. Now, so I want to kind of break down Young and Courageous and talk about a couple of the songs on there. All right, so song 1 off of Young and Courageous, Desolate, Magnificent. What was the writing process of that? I love the intro of just that whole song opening up to the album.
That's actually something that you had written. Like, it wasn't even going to be on the record, and when we were at, like, I think it was like right before we tracked, you were like, oh yeah, this is like an old song idea that I had.
Yeah, I recorded that all by myself. Actually, it's funny because Mike Watts, when he mixed it, left the demo version
of the guitars
of all the guitars way low in the mix.
Yeah. So right at the beginning, that's the demoed guitars?
Well, it's the real recorded. We recorded the whole thing over at Clear Track, but we recorded to the demo track as our guide, as our scratch guide track.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, he left. Mike Watts left that in the mix, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that was an old song that I just wrote, kind of like on my own in our old practice space.
Oh wow.
Well, it wasn't really meant to be on the record or anything, but I think Spence was like, "Oh yeah, I have this," and he like showed it, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds so fucking like eerie and cool," and we're like, "Let's just like." I think we wrote the end of it together, like, let's just build it up into like this big epic part, and then goes right into the next song, and that's pretty much how it came about.
Yeah, I love how the guitars are droning at the beginning, and then it kind of, you hear them build up, and then it like breaks right there, and then it just goes into the one guitar playing that riff.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, it's chilling. It's crazy. So that right off, I mean, when people hear that first track, it's almost like, oh wow, this is something way different than what you guys have ever done. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to do. So it's perfect place there because it's kind of suspended there, and you're kind of like, for the whole 2 minutes of just guitars, you're just like, what's going on
It's
here?
a left turn from Dream House, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then it, like you said, it goes right into Mountain House, which is like, got that that poppy kind of guitar.
Yeah, it's a post-rock single.
Yeah, which has a great feel to it. And was that y'all's single off the album? That one and
it's just like, that was one of the ones that we led with, like, release.
Yeah, that was the first one you guys released, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
We put Mountain House out. No, I guess we put out the actual song Young Courageous. We put out like it was the tracks, the final tracks that we recorded, but we sent it to someone else to get mixed so that we could put something out.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were thinking exactly.
We were just trying to release a new song.
Yeah, Drew Owens mixed a version of it, and then we ended up, because we were going to go for Young Courageous with him, but then Alan told us about Mike Watts, and we started listening to his mixes, and we were just like, we got to go with this guy.
Is Drew's version the one that's on the album, or is it the other? Is it Mike?
No, that's Mike Watts' version, but Drew's version is on YouTube.
That was
uploaded by someone else or something.
Okay, so his version wasn't the single version either.
No, it's the same tracks.
Yeah.
They're on Mike Watts' mix, but it's just a different mix that he did.
Gotcha. Okay. And now that song too, was that something? Now, how did that beginning riff come out?
Which one?
In Mountain House.
Mountain House.
Yeah. Is it now, real quick? Is it something when people mention the names of these songs? Do you guys remember, like, you guys had other names for them before you put it out? Yeah. So you guys are like, I have no idea what song you're talking about. Yeah.
I think like We Were Only Dreaming was Foggy Trees. That's what we called it.
No, a lot of them we didn't even have names for, and we just named them random
Dan Ass.
We just named them random names because Spencer Bradham had to name the Pro Tools files when we were recording it. But yeah, I mean, the riff on Mountain House.
You kind of demoed out that song idea, and it's like 3 different guitar parts going on at once.
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of Death Cab for Cutie at that time, I think, and I just liked how their like high, clean guitars went together with each other, and then so we just demoed it out.
Yeah.
You demoed out like the verse parts, and then we kind of jammed out like the big epic ending.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we wrote like the big epic ending all together, just jamming full band.
Now, were there any songs that where you guys started building off of a drum beat, or do you guys normally always start with guitar?
Only Dreaming was very much like building off the drum beat. It was Spence had just the 4-chord progression, and Josh started just laying down those like 16th note hi-hats.
Yeah.
And that song was basically built around the dynamics of the drums.
That's true. There's actually a video online of us just jamming that song out, and that was literally.
It was like the night that we were figuring it out.
That was us just jamming that song out.
Oh wow!
And then we took that YouTube video into the recording studio because we liked the length of that jam.
Yeah.
And that was We Were Only Dreaming.
Yeah, we kind of pieced it together. That song in particular, that was the last one written for the album.
Oh wow!
We kind of pieced that together in the tracking room.
Yeah.
It's actually one that's performed, or that people.
Yeah, that's been our most successful song off that album.
You said it's one of the most successful songs?
It is the most successful.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you guys are getting the most plays, pretty much, too.
Like our Audio Tree session has the most views for that song.
Wow, okay. And I did notice, and now in the recording you can kind of hear it, but I think the first time I noticed it was in the audio tree session for that song. Is there's like a little, it's like a guitar fill with like a delay on it, and I guess it's palm muted, and you hear it come in when kind of the drums pick up.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. Was that now? What? Who came up with that part? Because that part's just like almost the icing on the cake.
Yeah. I got this Boss gig of delay, and you can set it straight to the tempo that you play at. And I was like,
it's just that rhythmic delay that's like in like what is it, dotted eighth notes or something like that.
Dotted eighth note, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And so then another song I want to talk about too is "Young and Courageous," which starts out with that drum beat and just kind of the slow, almost like arpeggiated chords. That was also that's the name of the album, "Young and Courageous" too.
That was like our anthem song.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of the songs that we wrote that like just completely captured how we were feeling at the time, not knowing if we were gonna make it or not knowing if we were gonna move forward at all. And that was like, it was kind of like a dark, slower song. And I remember Josh was like trying to figure out like a more complicated beat on it, and I was just like, man, like you literally just need to play the first drum beat you ever learned on this song, because it needs to be that simple and that just sparse in the beginning.
Wow. Now overall through the whole album, you did say that "We Were Only Dreaming" was the highest played song. What were some of the other ones that were on there that you guys got a lot of really good feedback on?
Obviously, I think Mountain House did really well.
And Young and Courageous, those three are definitely like the leaders.
Yeah.
And then maybe Measure Your Breath after that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the real like hardcore instrumental fans like the longer ones.
Yeah.
And then like the more like I think the guys who listen to us before and then support us as an instrumental band, like the songs like Drift.
Oh yeah.
Because that's kind of more technical and weird, and but I think the top three songs were definitely Mountain House, Young and Courageous, and We Were Only Dreaming.
Now, do you guys find it hard writing instrumental songs versus writing songs that had vocals in them, like before?
Yeah, because it's
tough. Yeah.
It's really hard to decide like, is it good or does it sound like, I don't know. There's a lot more like self-doubt about your written parts, I feel like. Yeah. And when they're not covered up, like a verse isn't covered up by vocals. Like your guitar line might not be that cool, but whatever. There's the singer's the star of that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you're exposed, you feel a lot more self-conscious about what you've written.
Yeah, because you guys I've noticed that you guys have pretty much well maintained a balance between all the instruments. Everybody's pretty much doing, their own kind of thing, always staying in the key of the song. Is it when you guys have a song, you guys kind of pick an instrument and say, well, we want him to almost be like that instrument be the replacement for the vocals and kind of lead the song?
We definitely try and keep a lot of melody in our songs because we don't have vocals.
We want them to be catchy.
Yeah, like the Young and Courageous riff, like we want that to stick in your head like a vocal line.
Yeah.
So we definitely are conscious of that.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on the part in the song. But if we feel like there's one, if like the song just feels like it needs to have a voice, so to say, and it needs to be either a guitar part or a piano part, or it could be a drum fill, or everything could drop out. It could be a bass fill or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of depends what the song calls for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll be right. Like if we're really stoked on a riff, you know what I mean? We might just really push for that to be up front.
Yeah, is it also a challenge? Because I would always think, too, writing instrumental songs, it would be really hard not to kind of repeat the same thing over and over again. You get kind of stuck on this riff, and you're like, man, this sounds so awesome. Where do we go with this?
Yeah, well, that's the constant struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we take a lot longer to write a record than we did when we were on the label.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not... you don't have the rules. You're not. Your verse isn't. It could be as long as you want it to be, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
When
the rule with instrumental music is like play until it feels too much, and then that's a really subjective idea because he might think we need to go longer, and I'm like, no, let's move to the next part. You know, so it gets tough.
I don't know. It's all just about feel and what feels right for the song, I guess. I don't know. It's very hard to explain.
Yeah, do you guys struggle too with writing stuff and then when you're almost ready for the song to be finished, you come up with something else? You're like, wait, I want to add this part into it or change
we always fight. Like, I'd say, no, we got to go into this part. And he's like, no, that should be the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, we definitely, like, if I open up Tides of Man LP4 demos, there's like 20 song ideas in there.
Okay.
And there's maybe like 10 of those are like fully structured out, and then probably out of that 10, I think we have like 5 that we really
like for sure
that we're for sure keeping.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of how much music we write. It's just like what are we going to end up like?
And so it's more about what you choose to do rather than what you have like come up with. You know what I mean? Like what you choose to present to people.
Yeah. We could probably put out an album right now if we just went into the studio and polished up the songs that we had. Mm-hmm. We could do that, but we're not like totally in our minds stoked yet.
Yeah. So. Is there a time in the songwriting process where you guys have to cut yourself off and be like, "That's it. We're not going to touch that song again. That's what we have. That's the product." Or do you guys?
I think we at least like. Maybe not never touch the song again, but it's like, okay, we're not going to work on that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll work on something new. And sometimes you get burned out on an idea, and you're just like, you feel like it's done, but you also at the same time don't feel like it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, just the other day we wrote a song and we were like stoked about it, right? And then I think we both listened to it like a week later, and we were like, it's all right.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to like remove yourself from the song too for a bit. Yeah. To really have an outside viewpoint and judge it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a big difference in how you guys? I mean, obviously you guys are free now from a label, so you can do whatever you want with your music. But when you guys were with Rise, was there somebody there kind of guiding you guys, saying this is how we want Dreamhouse to go, or did they give you the freedom to do whatever you want?
Yeah, we like Rise was pretty cool about that. Actually, they did not influence our writing process one bit.
Wow.
I mean, they signed us off of Empire Theory, which was like totally off the wall and a weird record for anyone to sign anyone off of, in my opinion. And but we consciously on Dreamhouse, like we had been out on the road, we were touring with these guys, and we saw like, oh wow, like we wanted to add more pop sensibility to Dreamhouse that was internal in Tides of Man at the time. That's what we wanted to do.
Okay. So future references of kind of like what you guys are going for. What is the view of Tides of Man? Where do you guys want to take this? Like, is it something? Do you like the pace you're going at, or do you guys want to? You know, you said you're open to getting signed, but not really. I mean, it's kind of.
Well, I think all of us we're starting to get. We're all in our late 20s, approaching 30.
Yeah.
So we're like, I just had a kid this year. Like, we're not in any position to just like drop everything and go out on the road and make $100 a night. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, what's cool for us is that we're able to put out music and do some tours here or there, and we're very stoked on that.
Yeah.
I think if a really great opportunity presented itself and came about, and I think we'd all be open to taking it, but it just needs to be the right one. It needs to feel right, and that's kind of how I think everyone is on the same page as far as that goes.
Yeah. But as far as the future, like where I see the band going, I I mean, I for one am not happy with the pace. I would like to release a record every year.
Yeah, I would like to put out more music for sure.
Yeah, and then we want to do some really cool stuff. Like, we want to get into like audio-visual projects too. Like, we want to get into scoring and stuff like that. We just like redid up our whole practice space. We want to turn that into a recording studio.
Okay.
And kind of just more and more build our resources to be more and more DIY.
Yeah.
And lower the cost of what we're doing and produce everything in-house.
Yeah.
And we're constantly trying to improve and just make like better and better art, and just be like a more complete, like eventually not just be a music band, but I don't know, just trying to inspire in other ways too. Just be like as creative as possible.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, is anyone else, are you guys married at all, or what's like the...
I'm
married.
I'm the only one.
And you're the only one with the kids?
You're the only one? Huh? I mean, everybody, like, I'm practically married.
Okay.
I mean, I live with a girl.
Yeah. Do you feel, I mean, with you being married and having kids, like you said, like you don't want to constantly tour, is it, are you guys able to balance like the band, and do you guys have with your family and stuff pretty well?
Yeah. That's like, I mean, I do the family thing, I go to work, and then at night I'm over here, you know. We usually get together on the weekends and all that. But also, you know, like, my wife's super supportive. Before we had the baby, she went with us on the Europe trip. She did our merch.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, I mean, like, I think we all have a pretty good understanding of where everyone's lives are at and how to balance that best with the band. We you know, some people, they do want to tour more often, and I love to tour. Like, I would like to tour more often, just not 9 months out of the year.
Yeah, not long term. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Are you guys familiar with the band Emery at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've totally done like the whole do it yourself kind of. They've left tooth and nail, and now they're doing their own thing and putting out their own music and stuff. But it's neat to see them and hear them. They have their own podcast now and stuff too. But they've talked about kind of how they had this mindset, and this came up too when Under Oath broke up, and you know they were like, it's either all or nothing. If we can't do it full time, then we're not going to do it at all. But it's interesting that to see bands how, like you guys are doing and Emery's doing, and now Under Oath's back together. I don't know what their plans are for how frequently they tour and stuff, but that you're able to work from home and almost kind of do, I guess it's because you're not signed. You don't have the pressure of, hey, you guys need to go out and tour. You guys need to make sure your name's getting out there.
We're not doing everything just with the whole goal of selling 20,000 CDs, you know what I mean? We're just doing it at our own pace.
Yeah, and we don't have to sell 20,000 CDs to, like, turn a profit either.
Right, because you're getting 100% of what you,
That's right. Yeah. So, and then, you know, it gives us more time to concentrate on more writing, which to me, if I was going to point out someone who really inspired me to know that we could continue even if we're not touring very often, it's Cloud Kicker. I don't know if you ever heard of Cloud Kicker.
Yeah, is he European? He's from Europe, right? It's kind of.
I think he lives in like Pennsylvania. Or something.
Okay, but
this dude's name's Ben Sharp.
Yeah,
he's got like a full-time job, and he does this Cloud Kicker is him, and he records it all from home. And he literally just releases music for free on Bandcamp and Spotify at a pay-what-you-want price.
Right.
And the guy puts out like an album probably every 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And he's got this huge following now. And he just recently did his first ever tour.
That was like 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago? Okay, so he did his first ever tour. And I'm pretty sure every show was sold out.
Wow, yeah, that was awesome. That's crazy.
So there's a bit of that supply and demand thing there, and I think nowadays with the internet and the ability to share music and the fact that people love to stream music and discover new music on all these streaming services, like bands should be concentrating more on writing the next record and like putting that out there.
Yeah. So do you actually think that the record itself has now become more important than touring? Would you say that? Or?
I think it depends on what kind of music you make.
Yeah.
And also
if you're like a punk rock band, you know, people go to your shows and that's part of the experience.
Yeah.
Like you want to go nuts at that type of show. You go to an instrumental rock show, you're there to like vibe out and chill out.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys are the same kind of people that literally sit at home and like do random stuff and play music themselves while listening to that kind of music. So I think for instrumental bands, it's a little bit different than, you know, the bands in the scene for sure. Right. They got to be constantly pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's almost like there's a personality with the bands, you know, and they have to kind of keep that up, especially in social media, or else it's like they drift to the side, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think it also depends on like the situation. Like the situation we're in, where we're self-reliant and, you know, not signed and all that. It makes a lot more sense how we're doing it, just because, you know, like we could tour, but touring's expensive. You know, we don't get paid a ton, so it's like it's either do that and then you're away from home. You know what I mean? And it's just ends up like you sink money and time into it, or you could be at home putting out new music, and that's more content for people to share and to, you know. So
yeah, I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome to have this, like we said earlier, the era of what the internet's become, and you know, at home musicians being able to record everything from home, mix it themselves, and put it out themselves. Everything's do it yourself. Everything's at your fingertips. You don't have to be signed. You don't have to go and get these, you know.
Yeah.
I will say something though. It's funny you brought that up, because like I attribute a lot of Tides of Man's success to the fact that we were signed for 2 years, and they literally rocketed us out onto the road and just made us work, and then we built up this following. And then even though we got dropped, whatever, like I'm still super thankful of Rise Records, because they kind of catapulted us into the scene, and right at the point where we would have started like really making it, we like messed up, right? Mm-hmm. So then there was this vacuum of nothing until we released the instrumental record, which got overwhelming support because people were just wondering, all the fans we gained from that, from being signed, were wondering what was up with Tides Man. So I attribute a lot of success to us starting off signed. And I think that if you're in a band and you get that opportunity, you're not going to get paid from it.
Yeah.
But it definitely is it's like you're investing your time and effort into promoting yourself for a couple of years.
Yeah. Is it the best marketing strategy you could do for a short time?
Yeah, like just like go crazy for a couple years, be on a label, release a couple records, and then finish your contract with them. You know, a lot of labels do 2 or 3 record deals, and then you can just go DIY after that. And you've got a built-up solid fan base that you can promote with and work with, and do everything else yourself after that point, if you're smart.
Yeah. Now, as you guys being an instrumental band, do you guys listen to instrumental music, or are you guys not?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That's mainly what I listen to.
Okay. What are some of the bands that have influenced your instrumental music?
Lately, it's been Mogwai and This Will Destroy You. This Will Destroy You is super sick. They're like one of the reasons why we want, like, I think we're trying so hard to create more unity parts and playing with textures, because their last record is just like super gorgeous sounding.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them in a while, but I think the album I really loved by them, I can't remember what it was called, but there was a picture of like a bear on the front and a house on top of it.
Yeah, that was like their first EP.
Yeah, and that song Quiet, was that on there?
Probably.
Silence or Quiet or something?
That's one that I don't listen to that much.
Oh, okay.
Their most recent one is like...
It's kind of it kind of sounds like crap, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's that good sounding... lo-fi sound.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crushing, and there's these just amazing textures that just draw out, and then all of a sudden they just hit super hard.
Wow.
And they're unbelievable.
Yeah. Were you pretty surprised to see that Caspian was on the Under Oath tour as just an instrumental band opening for?
Man, that's so rad for them because that puts you Under Oath is massive.
Yeah.
Like I would kill this.
I wonder how their response was.
Yeah. Well, did you guys get to happen to go to any of the shows or no? No.
We played a festival in Texas, so we got to see the Under Oath, the Rebirth tour set. Yeah. But Caspian wasn't on it. Oh, okay. It was like 3 days or something before the tour actually started, I think.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it will open people's minds more to be opening to listening to instrumental music, because I think people were kind of shocked because when I saw it, I was ready for it because I knew who they were, but there were some people in the crowd who was like, oh, there's no vocalist, like, where's the front man? And it's just, yeah, but...
I think we'll be hearing that forever.
Yeah. Where's your vocalist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the vocalist?
Yeah.
But, I think, it's a certain person that's even gonna give it a chance, you know what I'm saying? So I think any instrumental band probably hears that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever gonna be the biggest band in the world playing this kind of music, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think we just play what we like, and it's rad that some people dig it. Hopefully we'll just keep getting more people into it too.
Yeah. Have you guys, now you mentioned like possibly getting into audio video type stuff. Have you guys had any offers for doing soundtracks or anything like that?
No.
We've gotten like nibbles of like offers, and then they dissipate into nothing, like where you're like, what happened with that? I forgot about that. So I think we're just going to start off making some really cool visual aspects to our next record.
Okay. Like for live performances, or? We
want to do like cool content like on our videos for our next record. I would like to be able to do a video for every song. Mm-hmm. It kind of ties it together in different styles, and
just do like kind of like short, like almost make our own film to score, you know what I mean?
Do a Beyonce Lemonade type thing?
Yeah. She totally stole the idea from us.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, something like that, but probably a lot less money put into it.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then, and just some weird visual stuff too, just like cool textures and stuff like that visually. It doesn't necessarily have to be like
a story or something.
Filmed storyline.
Yeah, that's the one thing about instrumental music is it's kind of abstract by nature, which is cool because it lets the listener and kind of decide what the story is for themselves, and we want to make cool visuals to accompany that idea, basically. Yeah.
So you mentioned too that you guys had some people that were possibly going to be vocalists. Is that something you guys can talk about, or is that something that you gotta?
There's a couple that we can talk about.
Okay.
Donovan Malero from Hail the Sun.
Okay.
He sent a bunch of demos that we liked, but we were kind of like set on another guy that we liked. I don't know who else. Mike Caswell did some cool demos. He sang in a band called K-Sarah. I'm not sure if they're active anymore or not, but he's really good.
Okay.
We were talking pretty seriously with him at one point.
Was there ever anybody coming out that was like, hey, how about we add screaming vocals to the band? Or was that like out of the question? You're like, no, we're not doing
it. If I could go back
some tryout videos.
Our tryout videos and some of our emails that we got at the time, we got a lot of different emails with some very interesting...
I think we had a folder of just vocal tryouts, and I think there was like 200 different people that sent us videos.
And it was like, some of them were just like, okay, that's not the direction that I heard this song going in.
Yeah. Wow. So from when you guys did that, were they just covering songs you already did, or did you guys put out like an instrumental track and say, hey, throw some
Usually we would... If we knew that they were good, or if they were like had a band before and we liked it, then we would just send them a new song to demo over.
Oh, okay.
But if we had if it was just someone saying, "Hey, can I try it out?" then we'd had an instrumental Dreamhouse track that we sent them and had them cover it first, just to kind of be able to tell if they were worth pursuing or not.
Gotcha. So can you guys say at this time when you think album number 4, full length, right? LP number 4?
The deadline keeps getting pushed back. We're trying to get it out by fall.
Fall of this year? Or?
Yeah. It's like September. Well,
I don't think it's going to be. We're trying to get it out by the end of the year.
So 2016 is the goal.
Sorry, we're trying to record by fall of this year.
Okay.
So it'd probably be out end of the year, early next year.
Yeah.
That's our goal right now. But sometimes it just takes longer than you want it to.
So where can people follow you guys right now if they want to keep track of what you guys are doing?
Well, I don't know. We have a Facebook, but apparently Facebook is not really working out that well right now.
You can't even get in touch with your fans on Facebook anymore. Like, it's ridiculous.
Really?
Well, we've noticed a huge drop in.
If we post anything, it gets like 10 likes now, where it used to get 500.
Wow.
It's like no one's seeing it.
So you think it's just, is that all right? So I noticed, like, so for this show, I do a Facebook, and I have noticed, like, you put things out and it gets like barely any views or anything, but then they get you to want to advertise it or boost it so people.
I think they changed their algorithm.
Yeah.
Or something like that, because it's not like we lost a bunch of people. But you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Tides of Man,
and Twitter.
Tides of Man.
Twitter's at Tides of Man. Is that where you guys are? For
yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
We got Bandcamp.
Bandcamp's awesome. Like, whenever if we announce shows or anything like that, that Bandcamp's cool because it's like MySpace back in the day, where you have the music, you have basically all that stuff like right there on one page. It's cool.
Yeah, is it just the MySpace was stripping everybody away besides the actual bands?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I saw on there too, you guys are doing a limited edition of Young and Courageous, right? Of vinyl.
We've got a couple copies left, I think, for sale. We were before we came here, we were packing up all our orders.
Oh, nice. Okay, and you did an initial. It was just $250, right?
We did a first pressing of $250 on black vinyl, and then we just did another $250 on Oxblood red vinyl.
Nice.
But yeah, just $250, and we took those out on the last tour we did in April.
Okay.
So we only had like 100 something copies left. To sell online.
Yeah, so if people definitely want to grab one of those before they're sold out, they can get that on Bandcamp, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where it's at right now. I think there's only a handful left, though.
Okay. And is that something, I mean, if someone wants to buy your music, would you rather them do it on Bandcamp, or is there other outlets?
Yeah, Bandcamp's awesome. I mean, you can do it anywhere, really, but...
you can buy it, it doesn't matter if you buy it from Bandcamp, iTunes.
I would buy it from Bandcamp. You can get high quality, like FLAC files or whatever you want.
That's true.
And
from the consumer, from the consumer perspective, it's better on Bandcamp.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter to us in terms of
what you get. Yeah. So they do take a percentage out from Bandcamp from you guys.
Yeah.
Or they do.
Everyone does.
Oh, okay.
Just a fair trade.
I wasn't sure if Bandcamp was something where you guys were getting 100% of it or not, but. Yeah, I guess people got to make their money too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Bandcamp is awesome.
Yeah. I like supporting Bandcamp anyway, so.
Yeah. I noticed there's a lot of limited edition stuff that comes through Bandcamp too.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Etsy of musicians.
Yeah.
Like weird handmade stuff and cool stuff like that.
Yeah. And so you guys are also on YouTube, right? You have a YouTube page?
Yeah, we have a YouTube account. We're not like super active with it, but we will be once we're gearing up to release the record. We plan on being really active with video content and doing a lot of cool stuff. So
yeah, and they can definitely see the Audio Tree videos there too, right?
And if you want to catch us live, that's the best way
to get a taste. Yeah,
right.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to say before you go? Anything you want to throw into the conversation?
Thanks for interviewing us, and thanks for...
It's probably the coolest, chillest interview that I've ever had.
Really? Yeah. Well, but when I first started the show, my idea was, I want to have, I want to actually know how everything's made and get into, whatever it is, whether it's film, games, anything. I want to know how it's done.
Yeah.
And I hated seeing these videos of people interviewing people and asking them questions like boxers or briefs or like stuff like that. It's ridiculous. Like nobody wants
the stupid like what's your favorite color questions?
What's your favorite topping on pizza?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I think it's great to be able to hear, get like a taste of people's lives and see into what they're doing and what their lives are like. So that was really the whole concept of this, and hopefully if it continues, that's what it will be.